Hi y'all, welcome to Stranger Stitches. Do we want to make a blanket? I want to make a blanket. I call this one bunny tracks because if you are familiar with the bunny ears stitches, that's what we do in this one, but it's worked in the round. Yeah, I got it all figured out. It even starts with a row of bunny ears right down the middle, and this is totally adjustable to any size you want to make it. It does not have to be a baby blanket. And I made this sample just to show, because these colors are kind of funky. I don't think I'd work with these colors together. Lavender, raspberry, and hunter green. Okay, anyway. I start with a row of bunny ears, square it off with a row of bunny ears, and then continue working the corners until it all comes out in bunny ears. And you'll see this is a real fun pattern because you're going to get a secondary pattern that's going to radiate out from the center. It's a lot of fun to do. I put this extra row of color in here to show you how you can get a secondary pattern just letting the color work for you. Solid color or change as many times as you want. If you add a different color, you're going to get this nice zigzag pattern. Just adding a little dimension and little interest to your pattern, but you don't have to do anything different. Let the color work for you. And since this is just a sample pattern, I'm going to walk you through what I'm using today. 5mm hook because she's my favorite. And I have Super Saver Ombre, however you want to say it. I use Super Saver a lot, or the Red Heart a lot, because it's 100% acrylic. This yarn will take a beating in the washing machine. It's sturdy. It's basically your workhorse. Also, it's 100% acrylic, so the baby can't be allergic to it. If you use something with a wool content, chances are that maybe the little one might get itchy from it. I really don't want that to happen. So 100% acrylic, and this one is 482 yards, and I'm probably going to use every bit of this. And I have another one just in case. You know, sometimes I get carried away, but this is what we're starting with. So to get started, first you find the end of your yarn because it is in here somewhere. Ta-da! Put a slip knot on your hook. Any old way you make a slip knot is okay because slip knots is slip knots. We're going to chain 3 and slip to close. Now, I wouldn't say that this is exactly a beginner pattern because you do have to be careful about where you place your stitches. And then we're going to chain 3. I like to work over my tails just for a little extra security in there. Now, we're going to make our first set of bunny ears. And I'm going to refer to this throughout the pattern as a bunny cluster. So after you chain 3, go back into that ring and pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through twice. Pull through 2 stitches, sorry. Yarn over, back into the ring, pull up a loop, 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3. Chain 2. Go into the ring that you made, yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through 2, yarn over, through the loop, pull up a loop, 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3. Now, if you can see here, that's pretty much how the bunny ears are going to work. Yarn over, go back into the ring with 1 double crochet. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and turn your work. We are going to work another bunny cluster right here in the middle. in that chain space. So start like you're going to make a double crochet, but don't finish it. Yarn over, back in the loop, 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, 2 and 3, chain 2. And the chain 2 between the bunny ears is the only place we're going to do that. The rest of your bunny ears will be formed with a chain 1. But I find that the center portion needs just a little extra give. Okay, there's your one of your bunny ears, and then there's that chain up that we made. We're going to go right into there in the open space and complete a double crochet. So see how we have double crochets on the ends that were formed either by chain ups and then chain 3. And I know that a double crochet is a little tiny bit shorter than the chain 3, but as you're working along the edge, that's all going to even out. It's all going to be just fine. Bunny cluster into your chain space in the middle, yarn over, go through that loop on the side, double crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and turn your work. If you are familiar with the mile a minute technique of crochet and patterns, this is going to look real familiar to you. Bunny cluster, right there in the middle, yarn over, go through your loop on the side, and complete a double crochet, chain 3. And see how that shows the detail of the bunny ears coming down the middle? That's going to show up even more when we get to the second round. Now, here's a little trick that I learned about this pattern. You don't have a specific count of how long you want to go. You can make this as long or as short as you want through this center portion. The rule of thumb is to make this section half of the width that you want your blanket to be. For example, if you want to make a blanket that's 40 inches wide, make this section 20 inches wide, because you're going to grow out in all directions, but that will make it a nice rectangle, a good shape for a blanket. So keep going, bunny clusters in the chain spaces in the middle, and then either a chain up or double crochet on the side. 1, 2, 3, and keep on keeping on until your center section is the length that you have decided that you want it. So this is more like a recipe than an actual pattern. And the only thing you have to really keep an eye on is the placement of the stitches. You see how it's going in here? Bunny ears all up the middle. And these chains at the beginning are very important because those are where our new corners are going to be. Sometimes it helps me to know where we're going as we're working the pattern, because sometimes I don't see the method in the madness until I get there and I'm like, oh yeah, that's why they did that. Ta-da! So let's walk through it again. Chain 3, and we're working up the sides now. Turn your work, bunny cluster in the middle. That would be double crochet 2 together, chain 2, double crochet 2 together. And that's your bunny cluster, that whole little stitch right there. Yarn over, double crochet on the side, chain 3, and flip it over, bunny cluster. That's double crochet 2 together, chain 2, double crochet 2 together. I have a couple of friends that are experiencing grandparenthood, one for the first time, and I am so happy for her. I am over the moon. She's so thrilled. And I know I get all excited about little ones, even when they're not mine, because I know how much I love my granddaughter, and I know that they are going to experience the same thing. So that makes me happy for my friends. So how long have you decided to make your center chain? And this kind of goes through yarn pretty fast, but it's not really a yarn hog. It's absolutely average in yarn usage. And I have, for my project, a little over 800 yards. I know you can tell what color my dog is. Little rascal. Okay, y'all. I have completed my center portion. This is going to yield me a blanket that is approximately 30 inches wide. That might be a little bit big for a newborn blanket, but how long are they newborns? About 30 minutes. Within a couple of months, they're going to need a little bigger blanket. So I'm going to start out with a little bigger blanket. When you get your center portion done, and you should be right here in a corner, chain 2. Yarn over and make that 2 together, right like that. Now our bunny clusters are going to change a little bit. I changed it up down the center just because it shows the detail better. Why not show off a little bit of your fancy work? But now the bunny clusters have a chain 1 in the middle. And we're going to work a cluster right there in that corner space. Now, there are no chains in between the bunny ears, the clusters, only between the rabbit's ears. And we are going to work our little bunny ears all the way down the side. See where we did our double crochets or chain ups? And I will warn you ahead of time, this first row is gonna ruffle just a little bit, but not to worry. Subsequent rows are going to straighten that out for you. And I know y'all saw a dog hair. I know you did. But I wash all my blankets before I gift them, because Red Heart has a reputation for being stiff and scratchy. Well, I don't want to give a baby a stiff and scratchy blanket. So I will wash it myself. And here's the trick I have for softening up Red Heart. Put it on the machine, cold and gentle. Add just a few drops of baby shampoo, because I know that babies' skin is safe with baby shampoo. I don't want to wash it with anything that has a lot of chemicals or fragrance to it, because I haven't even met these little guys yet. I don't know. They might have allergies. So wash it with just a few drops of baby shampoo, because you don't want to be making too many bubbles in your washer. I've got a front loader, and that could be a disaster. Now look at me. I got my mouth running and my hook running at the same time. So check your work as you go along, because it's a whole lot easier to correct it now than it is to notice when you get all the way around again, because stitch placement will be important. We are going to work our little bunny clusters all the way around the edge. And see what I mean? It's going to ruffle just a little bit, but no worries. No worries. All of that's going to work out fine. Do we need a review? And if you see this on a pattern, it probably isn't going to say bunny clusters. It will say double crochet 2 together, chain 1, double crochet 2 together. And that's exactly the same thing we're doing right now. But bunny clusters is just shorter and easier. All the way around to the side. And when we get to the corner, it's easy too. I try not to mislead y'all. Now, some of the patterns I do are a little bit more advanced. I would say I would put it on here up to an intermediate type pattern. And I should probably do more of those, because I don't want to be talking down to y'all, because I want kind of a skill level for everyone. And an intermediate pattern is not too complicated for a beginner. If you take your time and take it step by step and trust the process, y'all gonna be hooking along in no time. I gotta tell y'all a funny story while we're getting up to the corner. When I was about 8 years old, my grandma taught me to crochet. So that's been 52 years I've been doing this. But she wanted me to learn it because she said manual dexterity through crochet and needlework would make for much tidier penmanship. I didn't know what the hell she's talking about. So, you know what? Sometimes you just do what Granny tells you to do and don't argue about it. And she was one of those grannies you just don't argue with. But, so she put the hook in my right hand. And as it turns out, I'm ambidextrous, left hand dominant. So learning to crochet has been a lifelong love, and I don't begrudge 1 minute of it. But as far as teaching me some better penmanship, didn't happen. Yep, ambidextrous. Crochet right-handed, write with my left hand. And I always think that's kind of funny. Did you get all the way down that side? See how I tell you it's going to ruffle just a little bit? No worries. Okay, y'all. Did we get all the way down that side? And see what I mean? It's going to ruffle and curve just a little bit. No worries. No worries. We're not there yet. Oops, I'm sorry. I got crazy here for a minute. Now we're down to the last cluster here on that row. See how we did that double crochet right there in the beginning? We're going to use that. So we're going to make another one of our little clusters. Chain 1, double crochet 2 together. See that in that last one? Now we're going to chain 2, because this is going to be our corner. Slide it over if you have to. Slide it over a little bit. Give yourself a little extra room. And we're going to do our cluster again. And there's your first corner. Now, see this center portion here? Ignore that. Just ignore it altogether. We're not going to use it. Skip all the way over to where we made that first chain up, and we're going to make another corner. Whoops. I'm sorry, y'all. Running my mouth and my hook at the same time. Somehow it just never turns out well, does it? Bunny cluster, chain 2, bunny cluster. And I am, again, working over those tails. I'll weave in whatever's left at the end. Chain 1 and cluster. See how those corners turn out? Nice and tidy, sharp corners. And now we're going to work down the other side just the way we did over here. In every double crochet or chain up, we're going to work our little group of bunny ears. I know y'all tired of hearing me say that already. And you're going to see how this flattens out. Can y'all hear my hook squeaking? I love that sound, so peaceful. So work down this side just the way we did on the other side. How old were y'all when you learned to crochet? If you were a little bit older, what made you want to pick it up? I know, I like it. It's a nice hobby. It's peaceful, it's relaxing. You can take it anywhere. It doesn't get expensive until you start buying some specialty yarns, and I am guilty. Well, I wouldn't say I'm guilty. I do it sometimes. I buy the more expensive ones when I want to wear it for a garment. I like that float and that drape of some of the wool and alpaca blends. I like the comfort of wearing it. But this can be done to your price point. And when you're done, you get something beautiful to wear, to use around the house, to give as a gift. That's why I like it. Can you hear my husband in the back? I have told him 39,000 times to be quiet, but he's got a big voice. He's a big guy. He's got a big voice. And he's actually at work, so I got nothing to say. All right, let's get all the way down this side and to the end of this row. Get back to the corner, and I'll go through the corner with you one more time. Okay, see where we're going? We're coming all the way back down here. So let me finish this row, and I'll see you back over here. Did we get all the way down that side? And we are last cluster that we made right here. We're going to go through this corner again. So bunny cluster, pull it over if you need to, chain 2 because it's a corner, and then do our special cluster again. There you go. That's your third corner. Now, this beginning corner where we started is going to work out just a little bit different because I do a different kind of closure. Yarn over, go into that last space, and make another cluster. This one's going to be a little bit tight because that's where we started. Okay, you see how those two clusters come out right here in the corner? Yarn over, go through the top, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. Now, the purpose of me using that kind of closure is it puts you out right in the middle. So as you're going up and increasing the rows, you won't see any chain ups or anything like that. You are going to hide that all in the corner. So let's show you how we begin again from that corner. Got your corner done? Chain 2. Yarn over. See how you got those 2 loops on your hook? One from your chain and one from your incomplete stitch. Yarn over, pull through both. That gives you a beginning of a bunny. And we're only going to work one set of that cluster right there, because we're going to do the same thing when we get back around. So that is an incomplete corner. The rest of the corners you're going to work just as we talked about. Now, your pattern's going to start showing up a little bit more from here. You are going to work your bunny clusters into those chain 1 spaces that you made from the previous row. And that's all there is to it. All of your corners will always be the same. The bunny clusters will all be the same. And see how you're starting to see the pattern a little bit? It'll take several rows until you start seeing the pattern, and you will get a secondary pattern just because of the way the stitch works. You'll get some different patterns kind of radiating out, and it's a very satisfying pattern to work. And see how, since you got both rows done on there now, it's all laying nice and flat. But that's all you need to know to do the bunnies, the baby bunnies. Okay, but when you get ready to finish this, when your blanket is as big enough as you want it to be, I'll show you how I finish it off. We'll go back to my sample blanket. That blue blanket that I was just working on is actually going to be the gift for one of the babies. Okay, start in any corner, and this is how I put a border on. This will easily accept just about any border you want to put on it, but count ahead. Yeah, count ahead. Okay, in every chain 1 space, all the way across, I do 3 half doubles. 1, 2, 3. Es todo. Skip over to the next chain space. 1, 2, 3. And I think for that blue blanket, I'm going to put a white border on it. I know, white for babies, but I know babies are a mess. This is also, because I made it with Red Heart, going to be completely machine washable. Well, cold and gentle, of course, but yeah. And then mamas and daddies can use whatever detergent they're using on their regular baby clothes. You know what? I just don't want to be the one that sets off an allergy. And if you do your border like that, when you get to the corner, if y'all are familiar with the granny stitch, this is going to look familiar, only it's done with half doubles. 3 half doubles, chain 2, turn your work, 3 half doubles, and it all fits on there just beautifully. But like I said, it accepts any kind of border pretty easily, and I will let that be your choice. If you decide that you want to make this pattern for yourself, I'm going to tell you something. Any patterns that you learn here and any tutorials you use are yours to keep. That's yours. If you want to make it, sell it, duplicate it, except for in print, these are copyrighted, but I'm giving them away for free. No worries about it. Just do with it as you please. Enjoy it. And if you wanted to pay something for it, I don't take cash. I don't. Like and share. Like and share. That's it. Like it if you think it's worth liking, share it if you think it's worth sharing. But that is me for this time, y'all. Enjoy. If you decide to make it, let me know. I would love to see y'all's color combinations and what y'all do with it. I get all excited. But there you go. That's me for this time. Thanks y'all for joining me. Love you. See you next time.